Good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hitting cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events, and as you know, Wendy, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
That's right, Robert.
Ooh, say that with a little more enthusiasm. Right, there you go.
Woo!
Woo! Hey, sleepy grandparents. Oh, wow. That's right. Hey, I just want to give a quick shout out to all the people supporting Native Roots Trading Post. Thank you so much. It's another week left, and we're restocking here tonight. We got to run out there and come on by. And I also
that's at Dayton's on Nicollet Mall in downtown Minneapolis. There's great, really easy parking and a ramp. And then you just take the elevator down and you're there. And there's some street parking as well. So
a lot of people showing up. Every time we go there, we're pretty amazed by the amount of people that are there.
Yeah.
So another thing, too, that I want to bring up that I've been bringing up every day, too, is just a big peenie to all our fans and friends that have been out to Southdale.
Yeah, really. I mean, it's been amazing. So I have my art in Southdale Mall now, and they have a Christmas market there. It's called Pilot's Palette, and I have a lot of, art and prints and cards, and we also have the wild rice there. And someone bought the rice, and they didn't realize that I individually drew on each bag of rice, so no two are alike.
Yeah,
so
you can frame the bag.
I had fun doing it. It was very mesmerizing. I really want to,
You can frame the bag.
Yeah, right.
It looks good. Definitely. And quickly, too, Christmas in Ochapi, and that is tonight, going through the 21st. There's only a few more. And I hear it's getting fuller and fuller each time. So thank you, everyone, for supporting that. It's at 7 p.m. and then on Sundays at 2 p.m. And it's a Christmas in Ochapi, and it's done by New Native Theater. And let me get the address here. It's 825 University Avenue West. It's right down towards the Capitol there. And it's parking around the corner. And there's a parking lot at what is it? An auto parts store. There's right there. That's where
right
we
down
parked.
The street.
Yeah, really close. So we'll see.
The play is a lot of fun. It's really great.
We'll see everybody there. And then today we have Mary Kunesh, and then again Wendy with your Sacred Animal section at the end. But I wanted to get you on in the beginning here. I know we only have a few minutes, but one of our allies sent us a post last night, and then you were in a meeting too last night about this this hideous person up north putting out bills.
Yeah, a bill to delist gray wolves. And that's what they want to do. So anyway, this bill was presented in Minnesota by Mary Kunesh. She is the author of the bill. And Congressman Pete Stauber, he's up north. The U.S. House passes Stauber-backed bill to delist the gray wolf. I just want to make everything clear right now that the wolves right now are still federally protected, but it's a very precarious situation right now. So if everyone could just call their congressperson, their state representative, and their legislators, just to let them know that you do not want the wolves to come off the Endangered Species Act, and you want to protect Minnesota wolves. It's really important to do so. This was a press release from December 18th. Washington, D.C. Today, the House of Representatives passed in bipartisan fashion the Pet and Livestock Protection Act, which is House Rule 8 45. This legislation, co-sponsored by Congressman Pete Stauber, Minnesota -08, will delist the gray wolf under the oh my goodness, Endangered Species Act. That's called the ESA. Sorry about my speaking. Specifically, the bill requires the first Trump administration's November 2020 rule delisting the gray wolf from the Endangered Species Act list be reissued. This will allow states to manage individual wolf populations based on clear science. I don't know about clear science.
Manage.
Yeah, manage.
Nice
anyway.
word.
So, I am a policy volunteer for Humane World for Animals, and this is one of the items that we're talking about. So we're gearing up also to make sure that, our people in the White House here in St. Paul know that we want to keep our wolves safe. So I will be doing lobbying at our state capitol. I'll also be sending emails and, letters trying to, persuade whoever I need to persuade not to kill wolves. So,
yeah. Ridiculous. And all these buzzwords, and that's just
Mm-hmm.
talk about a slaughter like they did in Wisconsin.
Exactly.
We have a lot of listeners in Wisconsin, and it's one of those things that
Mm-hmm.
it's just unbelievable. There's so many good things that we've talked about and that people know that the wolves do for the ecosystem,
Mhm.
Wendy.
Absolutely. And there's non-lethal methods to deter wolves that really work, and they work well. And last night we heard a story about a rancher who's up north in Minnesota. He has a very large area of land and many, many cattle. And he said, I would just get my shotgun out and shoot these wolves, 10, 11, 12 of them, and wouldn't think twice about doing it. But then finally what he did was he put a big fence around his property. He put a big giant fence around, and he's never had a problem since. So there is non-lethal ways to get rid, to deter the wolves, to keep them away. The wolves aren't going to be killing large cow. They will, try to go for a calf, but that's not usually what they do. Our Minnesota wolves and wolves throughout the United States work in packs. Mostly the pack is a male and a female and their cubs. And they work very well together to hunt. And the alpha wolf, if the alpha wolf is killed, the pack is dispersed and doesn't know really what to do. So that's when the pack gets in trouble. That's when the pack goes on the ranch and kills the baby calves and gets into trouble. But a family pack of wolves will hunt elk, will hunt deer, will hunt, rabbits. We've even read stories about some wolves catching fish and eating fish.
Wow.
So, we need to protect our wolves. And there are a lot of people who think that it's just better to slaughter them and get rid of them, but we need them for the ecosystem. There's that story about in 1990, I believe, in Yellowstone National Park, the wolves were killed off, and there weren't any wolves in Yellowstone National Park for years and years. And what happened was all the elk there and all the hooved animals there just ate the vegetation down to nothing. What happened was they reintroduced, I think, 9 wolves. I believe 9. It might have been 6, but I'm going to say 9. I'd have to look that number up. And what happened was the elk went back into the forest, and all the greenery and everything and the shrubs grew, and berries grew on the bushes, and bears came and more birds came. And there is a wonderful of how wolves change rivers. I would recommend anybody to go on and watch that. And it's really a amazing story about how wolves really impact the ecosystem positively. So that's what we want to keep.
Thank you, Wendy. Hey, up next, State Senator Mary Kunesh, and then Wendy again. This is Native Roots Radio.
Are you a Metro Transit rider? Join the free Riders Club and let your voice be heard. Our motto is Transit Voices United, and when you become a member, you'll participate more closely in decision-making, plus earn the opportunity for exclusive merchandise at Metro Transit events. Help improve your transit system. We value your opinion. Join at metrotransit.org/Riders Club and start being rewarded today. That's the Riders Club at metrotransit.org/Riders Club.
The Minneapolis Police Department is hiring, and we're looking for people ready to lead, serve, and reflect the communities we protect.
Whether you're a new graduate, changing careers, or already in law enforcement, there's a path for you to join our department.
With top-tier pay, full benefits, paid training, and a direct path to making a difference, this is more than a job. This is your chance to shape the future of Minneapolis Police.
Choose service. Choose leadership. Choose Minneapolis. Visit our city website to learn more.
Discover Matrilineal Memory by Hopi artist Michaela Schaefer, now in view at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis. This evocative exhibition features paintings, poetry, and installations that explore memory and cultural preservation. Don't miss the Artist Talk with Michaela Schaefer on Saturday, November 15th from 2 to 3:30 p.m. at the gallery. Matrilineal Memory is open through December 13th. Experience art that transforms memory into connections and healing. Details at allmyrelationsarts.org.
MNsure is a proud supporter of Native Roots Radio. Looking for health insurance but not sure where to start? MNsure has you covered. You can find discounts, compare private health plans, and see if you qualify for free or low-cost insurance plans. Plus, get help from an expert so you can save on the coverage you need. Enroll online by December 15th for coverage starting January 1st. Get started today at mnsure.org. That's mnsure.org.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. I'm Bobby Wilson. Witcha.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Everybody, this is Native Roots Radio, and we are with our friend, State Senator Mary Kunesh, and it's always great to have you on and check in what's going on and all the great work that you're doing. And geez, you know, Mary, I just got to say this too before we get too far into it. We talk about every day on how important you are and all the Native legislators across Turtle Island, but here, especially in Minnesota, and how things have changed in the last 10 years. And I just want to bring that up before we get too deep into what you've been doing this week and talking about what's happening. But I just want to say a big Peeny Gigi, because your name comes up a lot during the week. So I just want to say a big thank you.
Well, Wapilatanka to you for letting me know that. I hope it always is in a positive light. And I feel really fortunate and kind of responsible in this moment to be doing this work. I mean, again, I never in a million years, 20, 15 years ago, 30 years ago, would have imagined I'd be here and be able to, you know, do the work and influence the policies and finances of the state of Minnesota in so many different ways. I mean, education, yeah, I was an educator, but, you know, because of the different committees that I sit on and the leadership roles that I've carried, I've been able to either carry or support or not support legislation. And so I'm really fortunate to be in the Minnesota Senate. And then, of course, to have our House members, one of which very soon will be Shelley Buck. Congratulations, yes. Shelley Buck. No, and, you know, together we can do the good work that needs to be done to protect the environment, ensure education, talk about the issues at hand. So thank you for letting me know that. And thank you for all those people that appreciate the work that I do. And just as another plug, I need help in the Senate. We have an election in 2026. all senators, all House members, all seats are up for grabs. Have to get reelected or elected. So please think about running, and please think about if you're an Indigenous person or think indigenously, please think about running in 2026.
Absolutely. Hey, so we always like to talk about what you've done in the week because the weeks fly by so fast. What has your schedule been, and what have you been doing this week besides watching those beautiful grandbabies? And I know we were on double duty, Wendy and I. Oh,
there they are.
Oh my gosh, those are lifesavers. Those things that they're in too.
Yes,
we enjoyed those. And then Wendy and I watched overnight our grandbabies for 2 days, and let me tell you, I slept till 9:30 today, and I normally don't do that, and that was like a day later, but that's huge.
Yeah. And Friday nights are my overnights with my 2 granddaughters. So I'm going to trade these 2 in and get the other 2 girls later on today and have our Friday sleepover. But yeah, those weeks just go by. It's like, how did this happen? How is it already Friday? But I'm gearing up for the session, and especially around education as the chair of education finance. So we are starting to visit more and more schools, see how they're doing, talk about the issues at hand. Of course, there's the real fear about what's happening at the federal level as they disassemble the federal level of the Department of Education, and they're farming out all the different parts to all these different committees so that there's not one unified place to either contact somebody or to do the work. But we went and visited a big charter school up in the Forest Lake area this week. And they are Spanish immersion and Chinese immersion.
Wow.
And and it's a big campus. They have pre-K through elementary, and then they have a high school and junior high. And they're all, it's pretty fascinating to watch these little kids responding and taking in 100% Spanish and then Chinese. And so that was kind of cool. And they have a model where they invite teachers from like Spanish speaking countries and Chinese speaking languages to come, and they can intern as part of their education. And then oftentimes they'll stay and teach in these schools. So that was really neat. And then taking meetings around school trust land. If you don't know about the school trust lands in Minnesota, just Google it, school trust lands, Minnesota, and you'll get all kinds of great information about another way that we fund education. It's pretty minimal. I mean, not a lot of money, but these are dollars that are generated from lands that the federal government designated to be used to generate dollars for education. So up north, of course, mining and timber really built up the corpus of this fund. Just this summer, we created a special task force to study, are we investing those dollars in the best way, and are we generating the right amount of dollars to our kids? I think we are hoping that we'll be able to generate a little bit more, because every dollar is going to make a difference in the next couple of years. And so that was a really good conversation. And then, just keeping up with making appointments for after the holidays. We begin session in the middle of February. And so a lot of folks are asking for our time to listen to what their priorities are, their ideas, or just, to check in. And so, it's been a full week. And then, watching these grandkids as well.
I got a question we haven't really talked about, but just what was like a week ago, the DNR is selling land to support schools. Did you hear about that? That was really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, so sometimes these school trust lands are in areas that really don't generate any money. And so at different times, either federally or within Minnesota, we've been able to swap out the lands or, sell them to generate those dollars. So that's another way that we, use our fiduciary responsibility to generate those dollars.
Yeah, and it's exciting. Your grandbabies are really excited about that, and I don't blame them. It's
they're like, Grandma, make money for our school. Come on.
Yeah, oh my gosh! If anybody's watching us on any of the social medias, State Senator has one of the boys in her lap, and he's like looking at us.
This is Oscar.
How old is he now?
They're about they'll be about 5 months old in just a few days.
Oh my God, time flies.
Yeah.
Speaking of time flies, we were both in the classroom the first time Trump was in, and we both talked about how sad it was, like after he was elected, and how a big population of my classroom disappeared and never came back. Are you running into that this time around?
Well, especially with these ICE raids, and it's kind of like not just our Latino population, but our Somali population is so under siege right now that many families are afraid to leave their homes, send their children to school, any of those things. And yes, I am hearing more and more about some of our Latina families that their fathers or somebody has been taken, and the families are worried about what will happen to them. And so they kind of go into their own lockdown, and either they're not sending their kids to school, or they're disappearing, as a family or as a community. And I remember seeing that when I was teaching, where, these kids would be there and they're an integral part of our school. They have friends, they're learning, just really great part of our school community. And then one day they just don't show up again. And you wonder, where are they, and how long do you wait before you go look for them? Oftentimes you'll find that they've left the area because of fear of being, their family being taken or their parents being taken. And so, this, ICE has been here in Minnesota now for the last couple of weeks, and it's just wreaked havoc on our communities. I have large Somali population, large Hispanic population, and fortunately, we have an incredible community group of advocates that are out there watching. They're bringing food and supplies to the families who are nervous to leave. They're confronting ICE, asking them, do you have a search warrant? And it's turned ugly a time or two, but our community members recognize the value of these families and these people, and are not going to just let it happen without a good fight, kind of.
Yeah, nationally, we've had a lot of natives picked up, and it's a very frightening thing. And I know my tribal leader of Ho-Chunk, President John Greendeer, wanted to get IDs out there, and the nation would pay for passports, things like that. But they're not even taking those, so that's what's really sad. Hey, we're here with State Senator Mary Kunesh and her group of little ones, and we're going to come right back. This is Native Roots Radio. Ho!
See you bet.
Are you a Metro Transit rider? Join the free Riders Club and let your voice be heard. Our motto is Transit Voices United, and when you become a member, you'll participate more closely in decision-making, plus earn the opportunity for exclusive merchandise at Metro Transit events. Help improve your transit system. We value your opinion. Join at metrotransit.org/Riders Club and start being rewarded today. That's the Riders Club at metrotransit.org/Riders Club.
The Minneapolis Police Department is hiring, and we're looking for people ready to lead, serve, and reflect the communities we protect.
Whether you're a new graduate, changing careers, or already in law enforcement, there's a path for you to join our department.
With top-tier pay, full benefits, paid training, and a direct path to making a difference, this is more than a job. This is your chance to shape the future of Minneapolis police.
Choose service. Choose leadership. Choose Minneapolis. Visit our city website to learn more.
Discover Matrilineal Memory by hobby artist Michaela Schaefer, now in view at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis. This evocative exhibition features paintings, poetry, and installations that explore memory and cultural preservation. Don't miss the Artist Talk with Michaela Schaefer on Saturday, November 15th from 2 to 3:30 p.m. at the Gallery. Matrilineal Memory is open through December 13th. Experience art that transforms memory into connections and healing. Details at allmyrelationsarts.org.
MNsure is a proud supporter of Native Roots Radio. Looking for health insurance but not sure where to start? MNsure has you covered. You can find discounts, compare private health plans, and see if you qualify for free or low-cost insurance plans. Plus, get help from an expert so you can save on the coverage you need. Enroll online by December 15th for coverage starting January 1st. Get started today at mnsure.org. That's mnsure.org.
Hey Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
Thinking about college? Consider Minnesota Private Colleges. These 18 nonprofit institutions keep the focus on students with small classes and professors who will get to know you. You'll find students from all backgrounds, and no two colleges are alike. And when it comes to cost, they're more affordable than you think. Find the college that's right for you at mnprivatecolleges.org/possible. That's mnprivatecolleges.org/possible.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back here. I have three guests with us. Again, if you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook or X or Blue Sky, we have State Senator Mary Kunesh and her grandboys there.
Yeah.
They are looking good.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming back on. And here, let me get a close-up of those guys. There they are. Oh, my. Beautiful.
I don't usually have them on Friday, but today was an exception, and so they get to hang out with me.
You're a good grandma. That's good. Hey, so we got a few other things to talk about. One of the things we kind of text each other last night, and that came up, and I know Wendy was in a meeting last night too, but what the heck? Why? What? Let's kill something. So Stauber up north. Talking federally about our wolves, and I don't blame the baby for crying about that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Stauber has put through a bill that would allow for the gray wolves here in Minnesota to be delisted as protected species. And so, we have worked hard here in Minnesota to protect the gray wolves because we know how important they are to the ecosystem, managing the ecosystem up there. And, I sit on the environmental committee, and I also sit on ag, where we hear all the time about, the threat of these wolves taking livestock, and then they'll talk about stealing babies and little children, or little dogs, which most often are, of course, not substantiated in any way. But if Stauber is successful in that, then that would very possibly, well, he's basically saying the states can decide how to manage the population, which means that, should a certain party become a majority and be able to pass laws, they could possibly have, wolf hunts or allow, indiscriminate killing of gray wolves. And what happened in Wisconsin when they allowed that. Just
a
about
bloodbath the first few days. And also, it sounds like some people have been reading Little Red Riding Hood or something and bringing it to your attention. Good to hear that they're reading.
Even if it is children's nonfiction, fantasy, make believe, all of that kind of stuff. So that concerns me. That concerns a lot of us. I know your wife Wendy has really fought hard to protect the wolves, and I've carried legislation time and time again with efforts to do the same. And so we'll continue to work and try to protect those wolves as best we can, and manage them in the best way possible.
I know last week we talked a little bit about the wild rice and foraging, and I got a lot of really good feedback by that, because people in the community are really working on the foraging for Native Americans. But there was something that came up this week with the sulfur.
Yeah. So Minnesota has, some really good laws around how much sulfur is going to be okay for wild rice. Sorry, you guys.
They're harmonizing. That's awesome.
They want to talk. They got things to say.
Yes, they're agreeing.
But they're trying to lower the amount of sulfur that they can have in water. And if it's too high, it totally affects the wild rice. I got to take care of this little kid for a minute, Robert.
I can pause real quick.
Okay.
And we're back with one baby, and he seems really chill.
Yes. Yeah. Oscar, the other one, did not finish his bottle before this. So I think he decided he was going to go back for seconds. But we were talking about sulfur changes and the laws here in Minnesota. So because there are groups that would like us to lower that rate of sulfur in the water, because it affects wild rice, and the level is 10 parts per, and I'm sorry, I don't know it off the top of my head. But what the state has decided to do is to do an analysis, sort of a new analysis of the impacts of sulfate pollution on wild rice across Minnesota in our lakes and our rivers. That level was put in place, that policy was put in place in the 70s. And so there's lots of folks that are saying, that's so outdated. We really need to, check out how much in this day and age the pollution mines and other things are affecting our waters. And so the Pollution Control Agency actually is going to evaluate any peer-reviewed scientific studies for future consideration.
Wow, sulfur is everywhere, and I don't remember hearing about this when I was young, but this is a big deal, big thing.
Yeah, so our laws here in Minnesota regulate air and water quality, and so it's the 10 mg sulfate standards for wild rice waters, and those rules are set by the MPCA.
I love babies. This is beautiful. Well, and I know we talked a little bit about foraging too, and the sulfur goes into the wild rice. I heard too somewhere that wild rice did clean the lakes too. Is that a thing, or did I have one of those late night dreams about it?
I don't know about that, but I guess in a lot of ways I wouldn't be surprised. It is such a super grain and such a super, a commodity. But in the past, that things just weren't regulated the way they should have been. And when the MPCA was created in the 70s, prior to that, there wasn't any regulation or control. And so perhaps at that time, that rate of 10 per milliliters or whatever was, to really make a difference. But it could be that it's they're going to look at it. They're going to look at peer-reviewed articles and come up with a really good suggestion whether to leave it at 10 or not. When I talked to the fellow from the MPCA that called me to tell me about it, I asked about, down south where there have been higher levels. And I asked him, are there wild rice beds, and, are they in the lake? And he said, well, probably not like they used to be. So we want to make sure that this stuff is around forever. And, for different reasons, whether it's agriculture or mining, people are always looking to adjust it to accommodate them. And, we have to make sure that there are protections in place.
Absolutely. And what's crazy too, we've talked about this too, is that I see old pictures of Badea-Makaska with wild rice on there in the 1900s, and I forget this, and I think you mentioned this to me at Rice Lake. Well, there was rice on that lake. That's why it's called Rice Lake, but no longer.
Rice Creek, right over here.
Yeah. Yeah, all these places that had rice in it. I'm a dum-dum because I never thought about the name of the lake or the creek because there was rice in it. That's amazing. And we talked a little bit about it too when the drought was really bad last year and the year before, that there was wild rice coming back, and in certain places. I remember one of the people that deals with wild rice in a big way, she was telling me that, but of course she wouldn't tell me where it was.
No. There is a lot of like a big set of maps that with the locations of wild rice bodies and that sort of thing, but it's kept pretty close. You want to share all the information, but at other times you never know if it gets into the wrong hands, what could happen. I mean, it's such a precious grain, and it's a sacred grain. The story of how our Anishinaabe neighbors came to our Dakota land. They were told to move east or move west until you find where the food grows on the water.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. And here they are now. And, we're happy to have them, but we all have a real big responsibility in making sure that we are protecting, just not just the sacred rices, but all of our environmental resources that, we don't want to go away. We want them to be around for the next 7 generations, right?
Yeah, definitely. We want them to be able to be here longer than we're here. And your work's been focusing on that, and of course for your district and for the state. What do you got going on this week here? I know we're going to be slowing down here a little bit with the holidays coming up.
Yeah, we've got holiday plans. One of my daughters is going to open up a brick and mortar cafe deli in St. Louis Park. So I'll let you know when that grand opening is. We're going to go.
Cool.
We're all celebrating that, but a lot of getting together with the family. I hope to get up north and enjoy the beautiful North Woods, but also to just take a little time off and hang out with these kids and get some good rest.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, and I know I know we appreciate you with your grandbabies. First the girls, and now the twins here. It's going to be a grand next 6 years with you. So thank you so much, and it'll be fun to see them grow up.
Yeah. I guess this is their premiere appearance, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Plan that.
Well, thanks again, State Senator. Have a great week, and we'll have to schedule something next week that'll work for you, because I know we got the big holiday. Wow, the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's
All
that
right.
time of year.
Yep.
Stay warm, everybody. Please stay warm.
Right on. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back with Wendy and our sacred animal portion. Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
The Minneapolis Police Department is hiring, and we're looking for people ready to lead, serve, and reflect the communities we protect.
Whether you're a new graduate, changing careers, or already in law enforcement, there's a path for you to join our department.
With top-tier pay, full benefits, paid training, and a direct path to making a difference, this is more than a job. This is your chance to shape the future of Minneapolis police.
Choose service. Choose leadership. Choose Minneapolis. Visit our city website to learn more.
Thinking about college? Consider Minnesota private colleges. These 18 nonprofit institutions keep the focus on students with small classes and professors who will get to know you. You'll find students from all backgrounds, and no 2 colleges are alike. And when it comes to cost, they're more affordable than you think. Find the college that's right for you at mnprivatecolleges.org/possible. That's mnprivatecolleges.org/possible.
MNsure is a proud supporter of Native Roots Radio. Looking for health insurance but not sure where to start? MNsure has you covered. You can find discounts, compare private health plans, and see if you qualify for free or low-cost insurance plans. Plus, get help from an expert so you can save on the coverage you need. Enroll online by December 15th for coverage starting January 1st. Get started today at mnsure.org. That's mnsure.org.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
Wolf and bear populations throughout Turtle Island say no to the hunts.
Oh, no. No. Hey, I want to introduce my awesome, beautiful wife. Wendy's been an animal advocate for many years, and she's like a co-founder of Native Roots Radio, which we're entering our 10th season here. Really excited about that. Great to have you, Wendy, and always a joy to hear your check-ins and what's happening around our sacred animals.
Yeah, thanks, Robert. Hey, everybody. My name is Hanaji Hihani, and that means cares for them. I was given that name by my Dega Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajinga, which means walks on white clouds. I am a policy volunteer for Humane World for Animals, and I work on animal issues at the local and state level. It's always my pleasure to do that, and I'm very happy that I get to talk about animals. So, so there's a Facebook page, and it's called Know Your Planet, and they have a lot of good updates. And here's one that happened that was really a pretty scary thing that happened, but it turned out okay. It happened in seconds, the kind of moment that decides everything. Security footage from a family farm shows a young boy sprinting inside the barn, desperately fleeing a mountain lion that had tracked him across the yard. The predator closed the distance in a heartbeat. One more second and it would have been too late. But he wasn't alone. From the shadows of the stall, the family's horse suddenly lunged forward, sensing the danger before the adults even knew what was happening. With astonishing speed and precision, the horse kicked out a powerful defensive strike that sent the mountain lion stumbling back. The predator, startled and outmatched, turned and bolted into the darkness. The boy escaped without a scratch. Yeah, and the thing is that local wildlife officials called the video one of the most extraordinary instinctive rescues they've ever seen, because horses are prey animals by nature. They run from danger, right? They have that flight and fight. They just run. Right.
The flight.
Yes. So they run by nature. They run away from danger, not toward it. But when bonded to their human families, something changes. They become protectors, herd animals, guardians. This horse didn't hesitate. It saw a member of its herd in mortal danger and acted. And stories like this remind us how deep the bond between humans and animals can run beyond, training, beyond instinct, into something that looks a lot like loyalty and love. Yeah. So you could go on. There's they had cameras in their barn, and you could see the pictures of the mountain lion, the boy running through the barn, and the horse jumping out, scaring that mountain lion.
Wow.
So yeah, that's really amazing. And I talk about this all the time. And yesterday or the day before, I don't remember what day, we were talking about the law that passed in Pennsylvania, right? That the pets are no longer considered property, that they're considered family, and that judges have to consider the animals' best interest, like in cases of divorce and things like that.
Yeah, that was Monday.
Yeah, that was on Monday. So, this just goes to show another example of how we're really bonded with our animals. So
it's crazy.
Yeah.
I remember I always tell you I bring up that story about saving Wanda from that attack dog. And she seemed so grateful. It was bizarre. And
You were
looking up to
walking.
me and barking at me like she was happy that I saved her.
I know. Well, you were walking down an alley with her, right? And a dog off leash.
Yes, big dog.
A big dog off leash just came and tried to get her.
Yeah.
And you picked her up right away and shooed.
I picked her up by the leash.
Oh, because she has a harness.
Yeah.
So she wears a harness, Wanda.
It was crazy.
So
It
you
was
picked
like-
her up by the harness and you grabbed her up in your arms. So yeah, you said that she was looking up at you like really.
After that, like she was really grateful, and she barked at me and looked back at me, and I swear to God, she was like thanking me.
Yeah,
I'm
sure she was. It's really, yeah.
She doesn't thank me that much for all the treats I give her, but she does thank me there too. But that was different.
I
It was
know.
weird. We were both freaking out.
Oh, it's scary. Today was one of the first days I was able to take her for a walk. I don't know, like 10 days, because it's been so cold, and with her collapsing trachea, she has to she can't really
Stay out of the real
tolerate the cold really well. But today was like in 41, and it was like, oh my gosh, it felt like springtime actually. So we went for a nice walk. So finally got her out of the house. But I have another article from that same Know Your Planet Facebook page. So if you're inclined to get on that or look at their posts, it's really kind of interesting. Know Your Planet Facebook page. Across Kenya's savannas, something extraordinary is happening. A surge of new life that wildlife officials are calling one of the greatest conservation successes in modern history. In a single year, 140 elephant calves were born within one national park, a number so high it was shattered previous records and renewed hope for the species that once stood on the brink. For decades, elephants in East Africa faced relentless pressure. Poaching, shrinking habitats, and human-wildlife conflict pushed populations into steep decline. But carefully coordinated conservation strategies, tightened anti-poaching patrols, protected migration corridors, and stronger community partnerships have finally began to turn the tide. Rangers report calmer herds, more breeding age females, and a rise in experienced matriarchs capable of leading their families safely through the landscapes. What makes this baby boom no significant So significant, is not just the number, it's the timing. Elephants are slow to reproduce, and calves require years of protection to survive. A spike in this magnitude signals real, lasting stability in the ecosystem. It means mothers feel safe enough to raise young, food sources are secure, and threats have been pushed far enough away for their family groups to flourish. These 140 calves represent more than population growth. They represent resilience, the ability of nature to rebound when given even a small chance. Each tiny trunk learning to trumpet, each wobbling step besides its mother is a reminder that conservation is not abstract. It's visible, countable, alive. I know, I'm really happy. The ripple effect stretches far beyond Kenya. Successful elephant recovery boosts biodiversity, strengthens tourism economies, and sets the precedent for protecting other vulnerable species. So, I mean, really, this is really, really good news that, the mother elephants just feel safer and their food sources are stable. And honestly, these poachers are, there's a lot of rangers, protecting the elephants. So this is really good news. And I hope that it keeps up because we want to keep these animals for future generations.
Absolutely.
We really want, we want people to be able to enjoy these animals and see them, not in zoos. I'm really not an advocate for zoos. I just feel like animals should be living in their own habitat and living their lives like this, a conservation, a place where they're helped and they're protected, but they're not, used for entertainment. And really happy about that. And we'll have to watch and take care of our wildlife.
Absolutely. Hey, Big Peeny Gigi, thank you so much, Wendy, for checking in as always. And I know all our people across Turtle Island listen to the show, just love your segments and your updates.
It's my pleasure to do it.
Hey, this is Native Roots Radio. We'll see you tomorrow. Ho-ah.